welcome back. Good to see everybody again. So, we have a little something special today. I know I say that every time, but I guess all of these are special to me. This one is a little extra special to me, I would say. What we're going over today, you already know by the intro, is going to be the DL44 Heavy Blaster. No, I'm just joking. You obviously know what this is. This is a Mauser C96. I picked this one up from a private sale not too long ago. As you can see, it's in pretty good condition. Do a little turn around, get you a close look at it. A little bit of wear and tear. That's to be expected considering the age of this. Now let me put it down for a second. The stand doesn't work too well, but hey, it kind of works like that, so we'll give you a good view here. Now, this is, again, the Mauser C96. These were originally manufactured in 1896 through 1961, so all the way through the 60s they're actually making these. This particular one is in 7.63 by 25 millimeter, or 7.63 Mauser. I've heard other people call it 30 Mauser. A little bit harder to find, but there are a couple websites where you can find it if you dig long enough. I do kind of want to get the 9mm version, but you can't really beat the classic version. Now, if you take a closer look on these, you'll see the serial number here, 112869. I did a quick search on that to see about when this was manufactured, what kind of a pistol we're looking at here. When I did look this one up, the serial number, it was manufactured in 1910. So with it being 2019 now, this is an old pistol. And it shoots pretty good too, considering how old it is. I'll get into all that in a minute. Let's see, in 1910, the rifling changed from 4-groove to 6-groove on it. Let's see, as little additional information, the Red 9, which is the 9mm version that everybody loves so much, those had a separate serial range from these, and they were made in 1916 to 1918, so we only had about 2 years that those were made. But this is actually a pre-war commercial model. Those models fall into the 39,000 to 274,000 range. So this one is still within that range. It's a pre-war commercial model, made in 1910. How cool is that? This thing is over 100 years old, and it still holds up great. As you can see, we got a little bit of patina on it. Well, more than a little. You got that nice kind of brown color to it from the rusting. But I do keep this oiled to make sure that we don't run into any issues with that. And here we'll take a closer look at it and kind of give you a nice pan shot up close. You can see the scratches, the burrs, some of the rust that's wiped off. I like to call them beauty marks. Now, some of the distinctive features on this pistol versus other pistols at the time, which were mostly revolvers, this is one of the first actual semi-automatic firing handguns that was ever made. With this, unlike modern day firearms, you actually have a box magazine in the front here. So we'll go ahead and get that bolt back for you. It is very tight still. It feeds via stripper clip, kind of like the rifles of the era. You'd put the clip in the top here, which I do have some of those. And in fact, let me go grab one so I can show it to you. Alright, I just opened up the safe and found the stripper clips. Sorry about all the noise. There we go. These are the good ones too. These aren't the cheapos. But the stripper clips work different than the magazines. Now, let's see how many of you out there know the difference between a magazine and a clip. Just so you know, some people out there don't realize this, and I know this offends a lot of people. I have my on and off days when it irks me. This is a clip. This is a magazine. That's the difference. Magazine holds the rounds internally. A clip, it strips the bullets on the clip, and they're still external. Now, how these bullets feed onto the clip. You get a close look here. You'll see how you have that little metal piece on the inside that bends. It's on both sides. Here we have some of the spent casings. I didn't have much ammo for this, but you'll see how it is a bottlenecked cartridge. That means it looks like a bottle, but they crimp it down with a little higher powder load in the back here. So you have a smaller projectile with a larger projectile's powder, meaning a lot faster. This was a really hot round at the time. I believe this was the hottest round until 357 Magnum came out. So that tells you a lot right there. But you'll see right here, if I can get that to show up well. There we go, Western 30 Mauser. But to load these into the stripper clip, you're just going to pull it out, push it back, and down. Same with the other one, back and down. I believe you can fit 9 on it here. See, they don't come out. Now how these would load, you take the firearm, you have a little groove right on the top here. You're going to put the bottom of the clip into that groove and push it down. This one's a little tight, so I have to actually pull that back a bit to get that clip in there. There we go. Once that's done, you would push the casings inside, pull the clip out, and it charges the firearm. Now I did just put some spent casings in there, so let me get those out. There's one. There's two. There we go. Easy peasy. And whenever you do have this locked open, there's no slide release, anything like that, like you're used to. You have to do this the manual way. Watch your thumb when you do this, but you need to push this little ledge, basically the top of a magazine. So I will show you. See the similarities? Top of a modern magazine, top of the box mag inside of here. So you're going to push that follower down, but hold the bolt back. So I like to just hold the bolt back like this. Well, actually like this. Push the follower down. See, feel that? You can see it moving forward and just let go. Good to go. These, you can dry fire these. It doesn't hurt them. The firing pin is actually in here, which all you do to take out the firing pin, this little screw head, you just take a slot screwdriver, push it in, twist it, you pull the firing pin and the recoil spring, all of it out all at once. So it's really easy. But again, dry fire. Now I want you to watch this trigger, because this is a better trigger than a lot of guns I've bought that are modern. You have a little take up, and then that's it. There is no double action with this. There's nothing you have to worry about. But the hammer is kind of a bear to pull back sometimes, so you have to get on top of it. But just listen. There's nothing to that trigger. An amazing trigger. 100-year-old gun, and a trigger is better than some firearms that I've owned recently. You can go wrong. Not to mention, I'm always a sucker for manual safety. These have a manual safety. Look at that. Who would have thought over 100 years ago you'd have a firearm that has more features than firearms you see today, 100 years later. Let's get a close look up at that grip. See, it is wood. Very old. Okay, look at the other side. You see where it gets a little rusted there because people's sweat and oil on their skin always has an effect on wood and metal. Lanyard loop. And in the back here. We'll get to that groove in just a minute. But, yeah, with that safety being on, you're ready. You can't fire. Safety off. Fire. Good to go. You'll have adjustable sights on the top here. You actually see 50, 100, 150. Goes all the way out. All the way out to 1,000. Don't think you'd really need that, but the option's there. Here you go. Waffenfabrik Mauser. I cannot pronounce that second word. I butcher it every time, so I don't want to embarrass myself too bad. Yeah, just your nice side shielding there. There it is again. Waffenfabrik Mauser. Oberndorf, I think. There, I tried. I embarrassed myself. You see we get a little bit of pitting from the rust. Scratches. But overall, it's just a beautiful, beautiful firearm. And it still fires great. I have taken this to the range. But one of the nice things about these, with these being so old, they are considered curios and relics, I believe. But these are also the almost middle finger to the NFA. Because what are you not allowed to have with a pistol in the NFA? Can you think? I know there's a few things, but you probably know what I'm already talking about. But what you cannot have with the pistol, according to them, is a holster. Right? Just a nice innocent holster. Which we'll get a good look at that. This is the one I got with the firearm. I don't know if this is original. I don't think it is. It might be. It looks old, but based off the metal. You'll see it just opens up here. Little push button. Push button down. Pull it open. Get a look inside there. You have your retention bent metal, but the pistol just drops right in. And you'll see they have it so you can have the safety off too. But closes. There you go. It's protected in its holster. These do have leather straps that you could strap it to your hip. Now mind you, see how big it is to my hand? That's a big thing to carry around. But there's a nice extra feature to these holsters. You really have to give it to the ingenuity of the creators of this. This is the NFA part I was talking about, because it's not just a holster. It is a detachable stock. Locks right in. Pistol's not going anywhere. You can now shoulder this and get even more accuracy out of it. Just that simple. You're going to pull this out, pull it back down. You see, it just goes right in that groove there. Push it up. This locks in place, holds the firearm, does not move. Pull this back, slide it out, back to just being a holster. In other words, a big middle finger to the NFA. You gotta love it. Now I wanted to go over disassembly on the firearm. We'll show you how this works. The great thing is, again, got to knock it up to the ingenuity of these guys that created this firearm. You don't even need any tools, really, to disable or to disassemble this. It's pretty nice. Now, I actually looked up a little bit more information. The designer of this firearm was named, bear with me, I'm probably going to butcher this horribly, the Fiederli brothers, Fidel, Friedrich, and Joseph. And it looks like Paul Mauser. This was designed in 1895. Let's see, produced by Mauser in Germany. We all know that part. Looks like there are a few other manufacturers too, but that's the only one we'll go over with now. Now, the gun does have the nickname Broom-Handle due to the handle here. It looks like the end of a broom, which is different than most grips that they had during the day. Now, kind of a fun side note on this. The C96 that was produced in China, because they did have a ripoff of these were considered the box cannon, was the nickname for them, because of the boxy integral magazine and that wooden holster that I showed you. So that's kind of neat. Now, with this firearm back in the day, because of the long barrel, because it has a very long barrel on it, and with the high velocity cartridge, the 7.63 by 25 millimeter, this had superior range and better penetration than every other pistol of the era. Well, almost every other. But as I said earlier, it wasn't until 1935 that the 357 Magnum came out and finally beat this firearm in terms of its penetration and range. So if you've ever played Red Dead Redemption and you get this firearm as the last one, it is better than all the others. Even though I kind of like the Cattleman revolver, it is cowboy. This is still, I kind of rock this in that game because why couldn't you? This is Han Solo's blaster. Why not? But anyways, continuing on, Mauser manufactured almost 1 million of these pistols. And the number produced in Spain and China were the other places that produced these. It's unknown because they didn't exactly have good records on these or production standards. So, of course, they're not as good as the Mausers, but c'est la vie, it is what it is. All right, now let me quit stalling and get to the disassembly. Now, bear with me because this is a lot of clockwork style parts. I'll show you that in a minute. So, pieces might fly around. I will show you. You just have to be very careful with this. First step, just like the rifles, you're going to push this down here. So let me grab a pen just because I don't have any fingernails. My nice FN pen. You're just going to push down on that and pull that forward. Out comes the box mag. That's it. That's basically what an internal of a magazine looks like. I know I was thinking about making another magazine and clip joke, but you've heard enough of that. I need to quit that. Alright, so you see the insides there. Very simple, just literally a box magazine holder. Alright, so in order to break it down, this is the little tab right here. You need to lift that up, but you cannot lift that up when the hammer is down. So, you're going to pull down the hammer. Now you notice that moves. I tried moving it earlier, I didn't feel like breaking my nail off. You just pull that up, and you see me, it's kind of like how a Glock works. I hook my thumb in here, I grab up here, and you just pull it right off. Now once I get it to here, I like to turn it upside down, because you'll see why in a minute. This all comes right off. See how pieces are moving already? I don't want to drop them. There's your internals of the lower. I give it another good coating of oil after this. I mean, the fact that you can still see that steel in there, it's gorgeous. I love this firearm. Here's the internal assembly. You'll notice you don't really see any screws. It all fits together like clockwork. Example, This is that tab that we use to unlock it. It lifts up, comes out. It's all designed and well thought out to fit together perfectly. Much better than stuff you see these days, in my opinion. Hold that down. Now, one thing I will say, because when I disassembled this once, I ran into this little bar right here. When you're putting it together, this little piece right here, this piece numbered 707, comes off towards my thumb. If you put it in and that little bar is not on top of this ledge, it's below it, this gun will not fire. You'll notice something's wrong right away. You have to make sure that is on top of that ledge. It's essential. You may have known that already. I didn't. I just figured I'd give people a heads up. Now, this comes apart here. You just have to wiggle it. This is a part that I find it's a little weird putting back together. These are all the parts that will fall apart, so I'm going to put them down because you really don't need to take it apart much more than this. This comes out, lifts up. You see, you just have all the parts just fit together like clockwork. It really is beautiful. Now let me take some time to oil this since I have it apart. I'll be right back and I'll show you how to put this back together, even though you could just kind of rewind and you'll see. Okay, we're all done cleaning it and oiling it up. All I did was use some rim oil wipes that I bought from Walmart. These work great and everything. So just kind of wiped it down, make sure everything's got a nice little coat on it. Nice and shiny and pretty. Alright, now for the next part, we're putting it back together. So, the best way to do this, I found, is hold it upside down. You always want the hammer facing the back. Now you'll notice these grooves in here, and that little tongue in there. You're going to push these down on top of each other. Now, bear with me, because again, I'm not the best at this. You'll even see that that little groove will fit into that little slide right there. You just have to give it a good push. There we go. See how that little groove is in that slide now? Or that groove, that tongue is in the slide. You know, you see what I mean. That little indentation there serves as a guide for that piece. Don't know why that was so hard for me to get out. See the little spot that I missed here. There we go. Alright, so now you have that back on there. It's pretty firm. You want to push that down till you hit that nice little click. Now, you take your two pieces. Again, barrel's facing this way. Just think about how it would fit together. You have these two grooves that these two ledges will fit in. Those are on there. Now you notice how that came up? Just push it down. That's all you need to do. And then you just pull it back. What I did is I grabbed by the handle, I put my thumb on here, I push and pull at the same time, pulls it back together, snaps back together. Just like that, see? I'll show you again. Just like that. You're back together, you're on there. Pretty much good to go there. Let's drop that hammer. Get that up, just get out of the way. Now, you're going to put the box magazine follower and spring in. So, it just follow the guide. Looks like a little bit of grease in there. Get that out of there. That's one thing you'll notice about these. They will still have grease and extra residue on them. You'll never really seem to get it all off. That's not a bad thing. It's better than it being completely rusted. Okay, so you have your button. See how the button goes in? You're going to put it button back. So just drop that in like that. You'll see, again, there's a little groove. Put that ledge in that little groove. Now it kind of sticks out. So what you do, see this little groove there for this ledge too. Now, I like to push down because it pushes down the button. Slide it straight back, it snaps itself in together. So, we'll just do a test. I am not able to pull the slide or the bolt back while the hammer is down. I have to pull the hammer down, then pull the bolt back, and then it catches on the follower, so you're good. What I want to do is, don't want to snap my thumb on camera. That would be embarrassing. There we go. Good to go. But all in all, just a beautiful firearm. The way that this thing is put together is genius. It's just great manufacturing. That there's no real tools needed. You could break it down on the field, take it apart, clean it, or swap out the parts if you needed to. Adjustable sights. 100-year-old firearm and has adjustable sights on a pistol. You just, you don't find this these days. And yeah, this is a firearm I'm enamored with. Just because it's gorgeous. And again, it is Han Solo's pistol. Speaking of which, you like my new toys I bought? Yeah, I'm a nerd. Anyways, you can find those on Amazon if you like them. So let me give you a little history on the nerdy side of it, or the Star Wars side, on Han Solo's pistol. Just something a little quick, because I thought it'd be fun to enter it at the end. So it was originally called the DL-44 Heavy Blaster Pistol. It was produced by Blast Tech Industries, and it was used during the years of the Galactic Republic and the Age of the Empire. It was considered one of the most powerful blaster pistols in the galaxy. So it was very powerful, but it had a tendency to overheat. I think we all know some firearms like that these days. Let's see here. There existed a carbine variation of this blaster. Had an extended barrel and a flash suppressor and attachable stock. We all saw that on Solo, the movie. That was used by Tobias Beckett, Woody Harrelson, where he broke it down and gave it to Han Solo, and that became Han Solo's pistol for the rest of the series. Kind of a neat little transition there. I thought it was kind of neat how they showed it has stock or a stock option to it and everything like that. I don't know, just all together, which I'm probably going to get some haters for this. I liked Solo. I thought it was a really good movie. It didn't follow the books exactly, but what does these days? I don't know, it was a good movie. It came out at a really bad time, and I think if it came out with more space between it and the last Star Wars movie, it would have gotten a much better feedback. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed what you saw today. Give me a like, or feel free to subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. We're always liking to see more people in here to talk to and give me some of their opinions on things. Sorry, I think I just knocked over my Millennium Falcon. Anyways, but yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like these? Have you had one before? Do you want to see how it shoots and stuff? Or, well, I did show how it shoots, but you'll see what I mean. And the ammo is hard to find, but if you go to sgammo.com, they seem to have a really good supply of it. I have to thank one of my subscribers, actually, for commenting that on a previous video for my 5.7. Thank you for that information. They always seem to have 5.7 ammo in stock, and I found out they have this ammo in stock, too. That is perfect. Thank you very much. But just to close out today, I want to thank everyone for stopping by, watching the video. Again, like and subscribe. My camera turned off, so I had to restart this part, so I might repeat a couple things, but that's okay. But let me know down in the comments. Is there anything else you'd like to see? Are there any other firearms you want to see me review, take a look at, shoot, kind of geek out over? Let me know. I'll see if I can pick one up. I have a few others to take a look at as well coming up here. I might have stopped by Shooter's World down in Tampa and picked up a few things. So I wanted to give a little shout out to Shooter's World and Nick down in Tampa who helped me out. Right on, man. You're going to see the reviews for those firearms you helped me out with. Thank you for that. But I hope everyone out there has a nice evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're at, wherever you are, whenever you are. And we'll talk to you again next time. Have a great one. Bye-bye.